Hello one more time. Labas vakaras, kolegom iš Lietuvos. Few words before I'll start presentation. I'm collector for many years, especially interested in Lithuanian postal history and stamps since, 1976, 75. So almost half a century. And different areas, different subjects, but on standard issue, first and second standard issue, I started to be more interested around 15 years, 12, 15 years, more organized, more doing more research, and then Audrius asked me to give a presentation. I decided it might be interesting subject to discuss with you. According to legislation, all archives in independent Lithuania should be kept for 10 years, and then it might be destroyed. So unfortunately, in archives we have quite a lot of information starting since 1932. Before that, it's very seldom to find any important documents. So it was no opportunity to base my research and on any archive documents. So everything what I was doing is collection, private collections, my own acquisitions, and what I have seen in other collections and catalogs information. So I'll be more concentrated on items which you can't find on catalogs, or which are very new and might be very interesting. So first, standard issues after introduction of Litas, all nominal values and stamps you see on this first page, and I'm trying to cover only 2 years. Next page, please. That's a content. On the next page, you will see content what we are going to speak about. I'll cover set by set, which not means that post administration issuing stamps, they had similar way of thinking. There was no way of thinking, to issue set by set. Just they're thinking about to issue certain nominal values, and the paper on which stamps they're printed, one or another watermark was secondary already. Next page, please. So we are starting from first set. And definitely the beginning of stamps is always we are covering the proofs. I'll just run page by page proofs. There is nothing to discuss. You have seen them in catalogs, in auctions, and on the title description is giving. So that's gray paper, black color. Next page, please. That's no watermarks, all same nominal value, just different colors. Next page, please. That's already as well, same nominal value, watermark, horizontal honeycomb, and different colors. Next page, please. Largest nominal value 5 liters with different colors. It's just extraction of, I guess, 30 even more different colors of those proofs. Next page, please. So, in the catalogs is written that the stamps have been issued 24th of February. I have in my collection cover sent, I guess, 21st of February, though the year is a mistake, 22 instead of 23. But on the back side of the cover, you see that the letter was received 25th of February already in Hanover. So it's happened sometimes, mistake in the year on calendar cancellation. So it's nothing extraordinary. But then stamps have been issued. Unfortunately, it's not clear yet, though catalogs state 24th of February. So I encourage you to look quite carefully on covers in your collection with standard issues and to pay attention on the dates. Because you know that the general number of stamps of first definitive issue is at least 100 million copies. So it's plenty of stamps, especially used one, and number of covers, which from first point of view seems has no any value. Just, you know, standard 25-cent stamp on cover, which is normal franking. If destination is not extraordinary, no one philatelist is paying much attention on that. So I encourage to pay attention on the dates. So I'm very, very happy to have such a cover, so which creates, you know, question marks and encourage me to pay attention on just simple covers as well. Audris, if you allow, I'll tell some words in Lithuanian.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Matote voką, kurio data yra panašu 21 diena vasario mėnesio, išsiųstas į Hanoverį, Hanoveryje gautas 25 vasario. Na, normalu, tikrai trukdavo 3-4 dienos voko kelionė, ir kataloguose rašoma, kad šita laida pašto ženklų buvo išleista 24 vasario. Matom, kad greičiausiai laida išleista anksčiau, ir rekomenduočiau, kvieščiau visus pasižiūrėti savo turimus vokus su standartiniais ženklais ir atkreipdėmėsi į datas. Galbūt rasite jūs dar ankstesnę datą, ir nors iš pirmo žvilgsnio tie vokai atrodo visiškai paprasti, 25 centai, paprastas standartinis ženklas ant voko, bet atkreipkite, būkite dėmesingi, pažiūrėkite į datas. Įdomus klausimas vis dėlto, kada buvo išleista šita serija. Okay, next slide, please. So, full page, full sheet of the stamps. You know, the stamps have been printed 10 on 10, 100 stamps in a sheet. Next page, please. We have number of varieties, and definitely mistakes in perforation have been made. The list of those mistakes are in Antanas catalog, Antanas Jankauskas catalog, and some mistakes, perforation mistakes, are in Michel catalog and other catalogs as well. So I'll just put an examples of imperforated in between pairs and gutter pair of 5 Litas, which is not common at all. Next page, please. As always with standard stamps, it is you can find defects, waste, printing waste. So just few examples. 5 litas, you see the page was damaged and still stamps have been printed. Same with 3 litas, you see color, too much color on 50-cent stamp and so on. If you will pay more attention on your stamps, maybe you'll find in your own collection as well some so-called waste, printed waste, but for philatelists it's just, you know, variety and interesting item for collection. Next page, please. No watermarks in American catalog is reported as 16 known. I do not have any information why 16. No source. Just I'm referring to Lithuanian catalog, Lithuanian stamps, and just that's item from my collection. Usually, as it's stated in many time and for many other stamps, that part of watermarks disappears in bottom side of the sheet, and stamps which are on bottom side of the sheet, they might not have watermarks. So it might be the case. Next page, please. Interesting items, gutter pairs. Why on 60 stamp it was gutter pair? How looked combination of a sheet, but we see that even gutter pairs, the gap was in different size. So it means that no one printing plate was made, maybe 2, or maybe it was 4 sheets in a plate, as Jankauskas states, and maybe 2 sheets have gutter pairs with gap 5.5, and other 2 sheets might have gutter pair with gap 9.5. So, but in general, I have in my collection, you see both varieties. And it's, at the beginning, I was thinking that it's very rare item. Later on, I have already combination used and unused. And next page, please. And I found few items on cover with gutter pairs. Business cover, as you see, from Jewish Central Bank, and you see gutter pair of 60 stamp. Karo našlaičiai have been overprinted on the value of 60 stamps as well, and I got gutter pair with overprinted Karo našlaičiai, and you see that it was the gap was between third and fourth row, as you see. So seems it was 3 rows gap and then 7. If we presume that it was 100 stamps sheet, but I haven't seen any full sheet of 60 cent value so far. Hope in the future, or maybe you have, some of you, you have in your collection. Few words in Lithuania. Atkreipiu dėmesį į porą su tarpeliu 60 skatikų, 60 centų. Kaip matot, tarpelio plotis yra skirtingas, 5,5 arba 9,5, ir labai sunku pasakyti, ar čia 2 kartus buvo spausdinta, ar čia taip 4 lapų klišėje, 2 lapai buvo su 5,5 tarpeliu, o kiti 2 lapai buvo 9,5 tarpeliu. Karo našlaičių užspaudą turiu labai gražią juostelę, vertikalę su tarpeliu taip pat, ir matom, kad tas tarpelis atsiranda tarp 3 ir 4 eilutės. Tai jeigu darysime prielaidą, kad lape buvo 100 ženklų, na tai 3 eilutės viršuj, 7 apačioj. Jeigu buvo kažkokio kitokio dydžio lapai, nu tai matyt visos mūsų prielaidos grius, ir tikiuosi, kad jūs savo kolekcijose gal turit. Man neteko kol kas matyti pilno 60 centų ženklo lapo. Next page, please. In Antanas Jankauskas catalog, it's a lot of plate varieties. So usually I like only those plate varieties that you can identify very correctly the place of variety. So this variety I'm showing is not in Jankauskas catalog, but it's very clear place, number 20 in a sheet. So you see, I have a block of 4, and I have a pair of used one, and you see in both cases it is variety 5, right 5. Next, so it's number of you know that counterfeits exist. So I do not understand why 1 Litas and 2 Litas counterfeited stamps have been made. Seems it might be related with counterfeits made by Sruoga. Most probably he was just training or doing, and later on those stamps have been put on a market. On the bottom side of the sheet, you can see counterfeits made by Sruoga, and those stamps are from criminal case archives, because on the back side I haven't put a copy. It is a part of official cancellation of Post Department of Lithuania. So they have been attached to the court case, and probably in Second World War time, some stamps somebody took out of archives or from court. I don't know how, but they appeared in the market. I got those stamps already in Soviet times, so in my collection I had them for at least 40 years. So the next page, please. Now we are moving to the next set, as it's described in the catalog. So the stamps with 4 stamp set, no watermarks. So I have blocks of 4 imperforated, only 2 value stamps, 10 and 15. I have seen others, but mostly it's just 1 stamps, and it's you can't prove for sure that those other 2 stamps, 5 and 25, imperforated exist. Next page, please. As well, perforation mistakes, as in previous set. Probably no need to tell anything more. You see, just double perforation and imperforation, pairs imperforation in between, or just missed perforation up, bottom, top, on left side. Next page, please. So those imperforation perforation mistakes have been made, probably not by the purpose, because I found the cover which demonstrates very clearly that stamps, the mistaken perforation, have been used for franking, just normal franking, business cover. So you see, there was no perforation, so it was cut very strangely. So I bought it as normal cover. Nobody paid attention on the cover, so pay attention as well in your accumulations, your collections. Maybe you found something interesting, as I did. Next page, please. That's just example of different colors. The colors are described in the catalogs, yellow and green. So just for illustration. Next page, please. Comparably, a lot of, not a lot, but comparably more waste you can find of those stamps without watermarks papers. Compare with issue with honeycombs or parquet watermarks. So without watermarks, it's more often you can meet in the market. So just few examples. Next page, please. Intersecting diamonds, so-called Schlingen stamp. Just illustration. Offset on riverside is not often you can found. So and next page I have as well on cover the stamp with Mikulski certificate. I know that the second one cover exists, and as well I'm happy that the other cover as well is in Lithuania. So only two covers are known, so both of them are in Lithuania. Next page, please. We're moving to third issue of definitive stamps with on the paper with watermarks parquet. Just example of imperforated stamp, and at least I haven't seen other nominal value of stamps on watermark parquet with watermarks parquet. So next page, please. Different perforation mistakes, probably no reason to comment. Next page, please. No watermark. So I have seen on Curler auction it was on sale strip of almost 10 stamps, and I looked into them, and part of those stamps, on part of them you can see very slow signs of watermark, and down it disappears. Next page, please. Again, do Gotterpe exist as well? 25-cent parquet. I have seen in my life the only one stamp, not Gutterpair, but just stamp with Gutter. And it's very difficult to prove, is it just double perforation or it might be Gutterpair. I need your assistance, and please check your collections, maybe you'll found. Next page, please. That's interesting topic to discuss. Perforation 14. Many years there was no information about stamp with perforation 14, and about 15 years ago, I just sorting simple stamps from one cover to another. They looked to me strange little bit. And I discovered that watermark is parquet, and that was block of 4 and horizontal pair. And in addition, 2 separate stamps. All those 8 stamps, they canceled small town. They bear small town cancel. It's Baldininkai. And beginning of this year, again sorting simple stamps. Again, I paid attention on the pair, vertical pair. Again, parquet and perforation 14, but cancel is Jelva. So seems it was some issue of really of stamps with perforation 14. It can't be forgeries or just something made on purpose. It's real stamps. So 2 separate stamps I shared with collectors in Lithuania. So 9 collections in Lithuania. The rest 8 still I keep in my collection as a proof that those stamps with such a perforation exists. So please pay attention as well on the stamps which in general seems the price is 1 cent, but you might discover something new, something extraordinary. Now I have to tell a few words in Lithuanian for my collectors. Matote, atrodo paprastą ženklą 25 centai, parketas, vandens žymės, ir aš visiškai atsitiktinai prieš 15 metų tiesiog iš vieno voko į kitą dėliodamas tuos pigius masinius ženklus atkreipiau dėmesį ir tada radau 8 ženklus, 2 po 1 porelę, horizontalį ir kvarbloką. O šių metų pradžioje vėlgi kažkaip iš vieno voko į kitą mesdamas ženklus radau dar vieną porelę. Kvarbloko ir porelės antspaudas yra balnininkai, o vat porelės, kurią radau šiemet, želva, kaip labai aiškiai matosi. Tai kviečiu atkreipti dėmesį net ir pačius 1 cento vertus pašto ženklus, kai dėliojate, galite rasti siurprizų. Gali būti labai malonus atradimai. Todėl būkit dėmesingi. Šitas ženklas tikrai matyt, šita perforacija verta įtraukti ir į katalogus, nes ženklai tikrai matyt, keli lapai buvo atspausdinti su šita perforacija, atsitiktinai, matyt, prie turbūt spausdinant ženklus ant kito vandens popieriaus ir jie turi teisę egzistuoti kataloguose. Next page, please. Again, waste or printing defects, as you see, double paper, partly not printed, and so on and so forth. Next page, please. Now, let's try to discuss about printing sequence. I'm going to say is just my own interpretations or my own thoughts about those standard stamps. So I think, and that's proved already, no doubt, that firstly, stamps with watermarks honeycombs have been printed, and I have all of them on covers used in 1923. I have seen number of stamps, blocks of 4 and sheets. Everywhere we do not have any markings on margins, just numbers on from 10 to 100 on right side of the sheet, and on bottom from left to right again from 10 to 100. So-called second issue, that's just my terminology. It's not necessary second issue. Just stamps without watermarks parquet. I have in my collection 5, 10, and 36 on covers used in 23. We know as well that on Karo Našlaičiai overprint was made in February, beginning of February 24. So definitely the stamps of nominal value 2, 3, 5, 10, 36 obviously have been printed at the end of 23 or very, very beginning 24. And as I said, you know, post authorities, they have been looking, they needed stamps with different nominal values. So then they printed 10, 15, 20, 25, so on. They needed small values. So 2 cents, 3 cents, postcard rate was 36, international postcard, so we need 36, and definitely those stamps have been printed quite quickly after set on watermarks with honeycomb. The question is about 25-cent stamps, because we have 4 different of them. We have honeycomb, we have no watermarks, we have parquet, and we have so-called Schlingen. So I think Schlingen was made in second, as a second. The third one was no watermark, and the last one was 25 with parquet. Just my interpretation. And the later on, probably at the mid of 24, or 5, 10, and 15 cent nominal value stamps have been printed on paper with no watermark. Next page, next slide, please. We are not aware of any procedure regulation for marking or issued by post administration. So I looked number of standard stamps, and my conclusion is that each subsequent printing of the same nominal value stamps was marked as a new issue on the margin of the sheet. And for example, the second printing or second issue is marked 2L. That means second issue or antra laida. The third one was third issue or trečia laida. Next page, please. So now we will talk about those printing sequence. So you see, same position, stamp 5 cent nominal value, and on the left parquet watermark, no any signs and no watermark, second issue on Tralida. Next page, please. 10 cent, again, honeycomb and no watermark, second on Troilida, second issue. We do not know why there is no parquet with 10 cent. I haven't seen third issue or second issue, so that's question mark. The next page, please. 15 cent, again, honeycomb as first issue and no watermark, second issue. Next page, please. 25. You see honeycomb, no any sign, same position, no watermarks, third issue, and parquet as well, third issue. So sometimes those markings, we do not know. Maybe as a second issue, 10 cent, for example, no printed on no watermark, and parquet have been printed in parallel. So, and they both they might have second issue, same as in this case might be a case. It's very difficult to prove. Just I'm sharing what I have and what I found. Next. Now we will talk about plate reconstruction. Again, my interpretations. We know that plate was made from 4 sheets, 400 stamps. So 4 different sheets have been printed, and then they have been cut and for sale to post administration was given sheets with 100 stamp each. So I just left sheet I described as A sheet, the top right B, the bottom left C, and bottom right D. That's position. First position, 10th, and so on. Next page, please. So that's just examples for you how a sheet might look like. On the left corner, usually we have short vertical lines. We have never seen, and no in catalog described any pair with gutter from different 2 sheets. Seems they not exist, and seems authorities have been quite precise to cut all sheets and to put on sale from the stock only 100 stamps. No waste, no so-called pairs of different sheets appear. Next, sheet B on the next page. Sheet B has interesting color line on the right side, because that's from printing color. As you see, we have color shadow, or I don't know how to describe in English. So the next C sheet, Again, that's above C. We had A sheet, and definitely on the bottom you see a little bit margins, larger ones, but it's not necessary ever there. It depends on the size of the printing sheet and on combination of the plate, how plate was put and printed, but in number of cases, usually on bottom in C and D sheets, margins are larger one. Next page, please. That's D already. Again, you can see color shadows or from the colors, and that's I'm trying to make all sheets. Definitely it's very difficult. You know that we have about 25 different stamps, and you need 16, at least 16 corner per each, so 400 pieces you need, 400 stamps from the corners to finalize collection. So I am even on the beginning of the road. Probably I have 1/3 of those, but it's long distance to go, and probably I'll never reach it. Next page. Now we will discuss about so-called issues, number of issues. I want to give message that issues have been on all sheets in a plate. So you see from 5 cents, for example, I have 3 corners, same position, and they all are different. So just I'm missing one to prove that, yes, in all sheets we had abbreviation of issue. So antra laida, second issue, and they all are different. Next page, please. Again, 25. And again, I have 3 corners, same position, and they all are different. Next page, please. So that's the last page, just my interpretations. And if you have any question, I'll try to answer. But first, before I answer to your questions, I would like to get your comments, remarks, suggestions via mail. My mail is vygintas.bubnys@gmail.com. Name dot subname @gmail.com. So if you will have something to add to my research, or you have comments, maybe some of my statements are totally wrong from your opinion, so please don't hesitate to send me email and to discuss maybe. Thank you very much.
I guess thank you, Vygintas. Thank you for very engaging presentation. Found it very interesting, full of technical details. Unfortunately, I can't contribute on the spot. Before everyone thinks of question, you mentioned this perforation 14. Remind me, I didn't have a chance to grab the catalog and verify. What is the standard perforation? Is that the line, comb, and what number?
11.5.
11.5. Okay, and that's a line perforation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the difference is quite significant. You may be able to spot by your eyes, right?
Yeah,
simply
absolutely.
by looking.
Absolutely. And that's why how I discovered, because, you know, then your eye is trained. You see that something wrong. You can't immediately say what's wrong, but you see something is wrong. And that's how I discovered it. It was something not ordinary. And then I started discovering, oh, different perforation.
Right. Anyone dares to ask a question?
Jo, jeigu galim lietuviškai, aš paklausiu.
Yeah, go ahead in Lithuanian, absolutely, yes.
Jūs pats, Vygintai, esat matę Adolfo Surogos tų, sakykime, ženklų, teko matyti ant vokų, bent kiek su šitais.
Man neteko matyti nei ant vokų, nei ant spaudos praėjusių paštą. Jisai jų nenaudojo.
Nu, buvo kaip seife, kaip sakant.
Jie buvo sandėly. Išimdavo tikrus ženklus, juos pardavinėdavo, prekiaudavo žemiau nominalo, o tam, kadangi apskaita vedėsi vertinė išraiška, tai tie ženklai gulėjo sandėly, nenaudoja.
O paskui likimas nežinomas.
Nežinomas. Matomai sunaikino jo.
The question was about those forgeries, the counterfeit by Suroga. The question was whether they can be found on mail, and the answer was no. They were probably substituted with the genuine stamps were removed from the warehouse, replacing those counterfeit, but they never been found in circulation. And it looks like we don't know what happened to them. Most likely they were just simply destroyed.
I have a comment on the perforation 14, and after all the turmoil in reestablishing states after the First World War, a lot of countries used German, Austrian, Russian, whatever they could get, perforation machines on their stamps. So it's possible that those sheets were sent imperforate to the post office, and they used a Russian perforating machine to make the perforations.
No. All stamps have been printed in printing house. Then they have been sent to stock of central of Department of Post, and only from the stock they have been distributed to post offices. That's the only one way.
That's according to regulations, right?
That's according to regulations and practice and memories and so on.
Okay. Do we know anything about what kind of machines were available at that time, or is there any kind of documented kind of trace of, you know, evolution of perforation machines?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, I have never. I do not remember, and most probably it's not surviving, because we know printing houses, and it was private printing houses which not exist after a couple of years. And starting from 1926, all printing was moved to Spinduli state-owned printing house. So it's difficult now to prove.
All right.
Man vienas klausimas labai seniai rūpi. Galiu užduoti?
Taip,
prašau.
Taip, savo laiku aš irgi varčiau archyve dokumentus, kitur spaudoj ką radau apie tas laidas. Ir mane labai nustebino vienas faktas. Nu, kai kur informacijos trūksta, tiražai, dar kai kas. Bet niekur nėra jokios informacijos, kad 23 metais buvo atspausdintas tas 10 centų ženklas, pirma laida. Tiesiog jo nėra, niekur neminimas. Paskui po mane šitai ponė Julija darbavosi, nu į ten irgi nieko nepridėjo daugiau. Tiesiog tradiciškai visi deda tą ženklą prie 23 metų ir viskas. Tai man tokia versija kilo, kad galbūt tas ženklas, kaip labiausiai reikalingas, buvo atspausdintas dar 22 metų pabaigoje. kada jis labiausiai buvo reikalingas. 10 centų kainavo laiškas. Ir todėl nepateko joks ataskaitas 23 metų. Gal kas nors turi ant voko tokį laišką, tą ženklą praeis 22 gruodžio. Nes tikrai, taip, ten yra vis tiek, buvo dokumentuojami, buvo ten gauta, pajamojama, atiduodami paštus.
Ne. Mano supratimu visiškai klaidinga prielaida.
Taip.
Dėl to, kad lito įvedimas buvo slepiamas. Ir niekas nežinojo iki pat paskutinės dienos.
Bet 3 mėnesiai buvo tam.
Po to, taip.
Po to.
Spalio 1 dieną įvedė litą ir
po 2 mėnesių išleido tą ženklą.
Jo, palauk. Visų pirma, reikėjo sunaudoti užspauduotus ženklus ir juos darė užspaudus. Ir juos naudojo. O paraleliai tada turėjo gaminti pašto ženklus. Reikėjogi padaryti bandymus, patvirtinti. Čiagi tu negali daryti 25 centų ženklo bandymo, siųsti, tvirtinti, kai informacija yra absoliučiai slapta. Čia labai normalus laikas yra. Spalio 1 dieną
3 mėnesiai.
Vasario mėnesį išeina ženklai. 5 mėnesiai, kad ženklus pagaminti.
Suprantama. Matyti, gal kas nors taip užsimėgsta informaciją kažkur.
O dabar tu kalbė apie kokį ženklą? 10 centų?
10 centų. Kuris buvo reikalingiausias, taip, metų pabaigoje antrų.
Kad kaip tik 10 centų nebuvo reikalingiausias.
Tada buvo tarifas 10 centų. Įvedus eurą. Paprastam laiškui.
Ne eurą, tu kalbė apie litą.
Taip, litą įvedus. Tai buvo 10 centų, buvo paprastas laiškas Lietuvoje. O nuo sausio 1 jau ten 15.
Taip, tai 10 centų klijuodavo ant su tuos perspausdintus ženklus. Tam ir pagamino jų daugiausiai. 10 centų.
Taip, buvo.
Pagal tarifą ir pagamino. Ir jie buvo naudojami daugiausiai.
Taip, jų yra.
Daugiausiai yra ant spauduotus.
Taip, nes man jokia kita idėja nekilo į galvą, kodėl jų nėra archyve dokumentuose, tų 10 centų ženklų. Ta pirma laida.
10 ir 25, taigi ta pati laida buvo.
Bet 25 yra kažkur figūruoju, 10 nėra.
Dėl to ir figūruoja, kad naujas tarifas atsirado.
Taip.
Interesting long discussion. I'm not sure if I can capture everything in Lithuania. Basically, Vygintas was asking Vygintas, he says that he studied archives several times and extensively and could not find any printed available information whether the first issue was indeed printed in 1923. And his hypothesis was
it's only about nominal value. It's only Richardas is stating that he haven't found any information about 10-cent nominal value stamp proof in archives. But
right. Yeah, and his hypothesis was, okay, perhaps it was a little bit earlier, maybe December of the 1922. And Vygintas had a different opinion, basically said that the introduction of a new currency was kind of kept under wraps, was kept as a secret. It takes time to prepare and proof test and proof print the stamps and have them ready for circulation. And they said probably that's not the case. So I believe that is in a kind of quick summary. Vygintas, if I didn't kind of translate it correctly, just help me out.
Correct.
I have a very naive question about the subject matter of, say, the one Litas 3:5. It's a seminary church on the river Neris. Is anybody familiar with that or knows anything about that, the subject matter?
Ką tai rodo tas ženklas?
I haven't got your question.
He said 1, 3 ir 5 litai rodo liktai bažnyčia ant kranto ir klausė, kokia ten bažnyčia, ar tai kokia realus atvejas, ar tai koks nors, paveiksliukas tik tai be jokios istorinės reikšmės.
Žapiškio turbūt bažnyčia čia prie Kauno.
Tai Jurgio bažnyčia, ko gero, ar ne?
Yeah,
It says probably St. George
Yeah.
Church near Kaunas. That's what they think.
Nuo santakos žiūrint.
Taip.
Looking from a Santaka angle, it's kind of at the river banks. There is the St. George church. Most likely, there was a little bit of hesitation, but probably that's what we see there depicted.
I think it's Kaunas Old Town Church. Old Town.
Which one? Kuri?
Kaunas Old Town Church.
Yeah, it's an old town. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Kauno senamiestyje daug bažnyčių, čia konkreti savo pavadinimu.
Yeah, I mean, Richard has added that there are many churches in the old town, and this is just the one specific example.
Okay.
All right, and anyone else? So far, so good? We're doing good? While you think about the question, Andrew has joined later. It's so good to see you, Andrew. Jan Kaptein has joined us as well. Very good to see you. And Martin as well. I think you joined us a little bit early, didn't have a chance to say hello.
So I have a little comment about the presentation of you, Vygintas. That was very good information, I think. And we have a big discussion in the German society about this sequence of the printings 10 years ago, especially with Professor Klein, if you can remember. And he had seen hundreds, maybe thousands of stamps and regarding the postmarks and the dates. And the conclusion of our discussion was that we agree with definitely with your sequence of the printing dates. So our conclusion was the same regarding the postmark dates we've seen on the stamps. So that would be great.
Thank you. Thank you for proof.
What kind of discussion was it? Sorry, Martin, to interrupt. I tried to understand. You said you had a discussion. Was it like a conference or just a casual conversation?
It lasted several years. I've edited a handbook in German language about Lithuanian stamps, and that was not my own work alone, but we had big discussions with Professor Klein and other experts about this. And because in the Michel catalog, it is very clear: first issue, second issue, third issue, and especially the 25-cent stamp was that was a problem, the sequence of these issues. And we have, because we have written a handbook of postmarks too with Mr. Fugalevich's, and so seen a lot of cancellations, postmarks, and the dates didn't agree with the sequence in the Michel catalog. And so we tried to we wrote to the Michel catalog, but they won't alter the sequence because it was it's an old history, it's an old catalog with a great tradition, and so they don't want it. Professor Klein had introduced a medical microscope with 400 magnification 400 times, and he noticed that the 25-cent stamp without watermark was printed in 3 editions because the colors are different if you have an stock book, you see the colors differs. And so he identified 3 printings, and he checked the dates of the postmarks and so on. So our conclusion was that the edition of this complete issue was interrupted because of the Klaipėda issue, which came to the counter at August 23. And we thought it was a political reason because of the open question of the status of the Klaipėda region. And so it was very urgent to issue this the stamps. And so the printing house had to interrupt their printings of the normal stamps. So that was our interpretation. But the sequence was all the same, Vygintas said.
Yeah, but printing was interrupted not because due to Klaipėda issue.
Okay.
It was very easy to print, limited number of stamps. But at that time they printed how to call it, tarnybiniai ženklai, that's official stamps, which later on have been used in Klaipėda. They printed for their own purposes, in just to use as service stamps, and then Klaipėda was occupied. Lithuanian government, used them as postage stamps. So, and that was millions.
So that's then it's clear with this different editions of these stamps. And I think the conclusion is clear: to define for each value a sequence of the printing. Not to say in general it is first, second, or third edition, but to define it for every
nominal.
Nominal value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I think the right conclusion.
Thank you.
Another naive comment. I did find some of these stamps in this book, postage stamps of Lithuania, and also in this book, right? And
Yes.
Antoinette, do you want to say anything? Are you there?
You're right. I have
Right.
nothing to add.
Naive, very naive, but I'm following along.
Don't apologize. It's absolutely fine. Don't hesitate to ask any question. There is absolutely no discrimination here in terms of the level of knowledge. I'm learning every time we have these things. I learn something new. So it's absolutely fine. And there are a few people that have been, like Vygintas, one of those. And apparently Martin has spent quite a lot of time on studying stamps. So it's absolutely great that they could share with us and educate all of us.
Yes, agreed. Thank you.
Any other comments or related or unrelated to the presentation? Don't hesitate to ask or to comment or jump in or anything you want to share.
I could say something again. Last week, my husband and I attended the Penpex stamp show in Redwood City, California, and Vesma Grinfelds, who some of you know, was an exhibitor, and she had, one of her exhibits was the slogan hand stamps of Latvia, 1936 to 1940. It won a gold, and I was just wondering if Lithuania had slogan hand stamps on their covers at times. Anybody know anything about that?
Yes.
Oh,
Slogan cancellations on yes, yeah.
These were just hand stamps, so I don't think they were cancellations.
Oh, hand stamps. No, I think they were machine stamps, if I remember correctly.
Okay, well, it was like plant your garden now or something. Some advice to people. Yeah. Did
Vygintas?
Lithuania have this? Does the Lithuania?
Yeah, there are the
Google-
Francatur cancellations with slogans.
Okay.
And there
But
are
not
as
the
well
hand stamps, right? They were
machinery-
machine stamps. They're not
machine
the.
stamps with slogans as well.
Yeah, well, they had some kind of slogan thing. And Vesma also exhibited special occasion cancellations, and that won a gold also. So just mentioning it.
I have one suggestion, talking about our coming exhibition, philatelic exhibition.
Okay.
I noticed, especially in United States of America, it's quite popular now to present not only one frame exhibit, but as well 2 or 3 frame exhibits. So I think we can introduce as well in our, because there is some items you can't make 5 frames, but you can make 2 frames. And let's let people, to grow,
To exhibit. Exactly.
2 frames, 3 frames, because to jump immediately from 1 to 5 might be difficult for some. And now, according to new regulation as well, if you are getting large vermeil for 5 frames, you just this regulation, you have to move to 8 frames within 5 years. So next time you can show 6 frames, next time you can show 7 frames, and at the end, after 5 years, you have to show 8 frames. So similar with 1 frame exhibit. So
And that's a FIP regulation, right?
yes.
No, absolutely. There are many topics that you're right. You can't make 5, but you can squeeze out 2 after you showed 1. Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think we need to be flexible in that sense, and then have opportunity for people to participate. I think participation is probably one of the most important aspects of why we organize those philatelic exhibits, is just to, of course, to share the knowledge, and especially if that was accumulated over many years, but also to invite new people to join, new philatelists to exhibit, and whatever topic is less important.
Okay, Audrius, don't forget we have, football championship, world football champion, and France is playing with UK at the moment.
Okay, yes, that's super important. Yes, absolutely. I completely forgot.
Europe
yes.
might
Yeah, so I guess that's why somebody would leave and join. They would go and run and watch
Yes.
TV for 5 minutes and come back. Okay, thank you. No, I'm absolutely grateful for everyone who found the time today to join us. Merry holidays are coming up upon us. I would like to wish Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone, and I hope to see you again in January to continue discussing or sharing various topics related to Lithuanian philately, hopefully. But if there are any other related topics, we definitely would like to invite other speakers as well. And if you know anyone who could give a talk, please let me know.
Okay. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Lithuanian. Say Lithuania. Can you say Merry Christmas? I want to hear it. Merry Christmas.
Su šventom kalėdom.
Su šventom kalėdom ir gerų naujų metų.
Ir gerų naujų metų.
Thank you.